Good morning, everyone. This is Todd Creek Rock back on the Ark. We're actually on Crystal Isle still, but we're going to try to do something a little bit different today. We're going to start a new series. This series is going to be called Who Has the Best Dino or Creature in All of Ark. So what we're looking for here in this series, we're going to try to find out who has the best, or the Argentavis with the best stats. So let's lay out a few rules here first. First of all, you can't have no mods. We're going to try to keep it pretty much vanilla. Max level creatures should be no more than 150 unless it is a tech creature. If it's a tech creature, it can go up to 180. But this is Argentavis we're doing today, so their max level is 150 on Vanilla Ark. Also, it can be on any map. You can be on the island, Scorch Earth, Aberration, Extinction, or the DLC maps, which are Center, Ragnarok, Bulgaro, Crystal Isles. Also, there's the Genesis map, so I don't care what map you're on. It can be from any map. Also, you can be on any system. It can be on a PC or Xbox or a PlayStation 4 or even a Nintendo Switch if you've got the Nintendo Switch version. I don't think there's too many people got that one, though. But anyway, what we're looking for the best natural stats you can get on a Argentavis out in the wild. If you go out in the wild and tame a high-leveled Argentavis, say you find a level 150 and you've got the kibble and stuff and you get a perfect tame, you will get a 224 Argentavis. What we're looking for is the best health, stamina, oxygen, food, weight, or damage stat from any of those that you've tamed. So if you get really lucky and get out there and you find an Argentavis with a pretty high health stat and get a pretty good draw when you tame it, you might get a really high health stat. And then after we get all those high stats on our Argentavises, we're looking for the best Argentavis with all the best combined stats you can get. Also, we're not counting imprints or mutations or leveling up. It's just the basic starter stats when you get your Argentavis put all together. Okay. And if you remember what the best pre-tame stats you've ever seen on a creature was, I would love to hear that in the comments section also. Like if you've knocked out an Argentavis and it had, I personally have knocked out one that said 275 melee damage, which that's the highest melee damage I've ever seen before taming one, and the highest stamina I think I've ever seen is like 1020 stamina before tame. But if you've seen any with a really high pre-tame stat, I would love to hear about that also. Okay, of course I've done said it though, but this episode is basically going to be about the Argentavis. Ark has a really cool leveling system where each creature can have a different amount of stats into a different amount of levels in each stat. So you can get out in the wild and you can say you can tame 2, maybe 3 150 Argentavises, and they'll all have different stats most likely. One might have really high health, one might have really high stamina, one might have all food. But what we're trying to do here is we're trying to use the breeding system to breed those best stats off the ones into a single Argentavis. You can also do mutations and stuff, but we're not going to talk about that in this episode. We'll do that, might do another series on mutations later on. Okay, what we have done, we have actually went out and we have tamed probably dozens and dozens of Argentavises over the last 2 series I've done. We've spent like 500 days on Bulgaro and almost 700 days on this map, Crystal Isles. And we have tamed a lot of Argentavises, and what I did was I picked out first of all, I didn't level up the Argentavises I wanted to breed so I could remember what their stats were. And I picked out the best one with the best health, one with the best stamina, one with the best oxygen, one with the best food, one with the best weight, and one with the best melee damage, and I combined them all into a single Argentavis. Also, something else that might be really handy for you, cryopods. Cryopods have a new feature now. You can actually look into a cryopod and it shows you all the stats of your creatures, so you can actually store a lot of Argentavises in cryopods, and you can go in there and look at their stats without actually getting them out. So you can have a whole bunch of them in your inventory and you can just cycle through them. And it's got a few more new features too. Also up there right below the creature's name, it shows their color region. So if you've got brightly colored ones you want to use, you can see what color regions they have got and what their colors are. And it also even shows if they've got mutations. If you've got some bred up, it shows on the cryopod if they've got a mutation or not. But let's get right into this here. I've got my original Argentavis over here. 4 of them anyway. There was originally 6 of them. But the other 2 are over on the Bulgaro map, and I would have to teleport them over here through Obelisk or through a tech transmitter. I could do that, but I've only got the 4 right here. Okay, this was the best health stat Argentavis I could find. It was a male. It's a 209 now, so it must have been a male 140 when I knocked it out. But it came out after tame with 3,942 health. Okay, and then this one here was my stamina one. This is a 224, so this was a 150 originally. And it came out with 1,340 stamina. And then my oxygen one here was a 202, so it was originally a 130, I think. No, actually it was a 135. So this was originally a 135, and it came out with 960 oxygen. So that's the best oxygen stat I can find. I realize most people probably will not breed oxygen and food into their creatures, but I figured I'd do it anyway because I was trying to push a creature up as far as I could. So I used the oxygen and food stats, which are pretty useless. And then finally over here I've got a 217 female with 752 weight. This was obviously a 145 originally. But I knocked it out and it got pretty good draw on the weight stat, or at least the best one I could find out of the 100, or probably dozens and dozens of Argentavis I tamed. Those were the best stats. I also had I guess they're over on the Bulgaro map, my other 2. I got one with a good food stat and one with a super good melee stat. I think the melee stat I had was like 540 something. Let's see if I can find it here. I had one with 11,400 food, and I had one with 540% melee damage, which is crazy high melee damage. I think I got super lucky on that one. But those 2 Argentavises are over on the Bulgaro map. Okay, what you do now is once you get all these, you breed them together. And if you've got like these 2 right here, if you want to put the health and the stamina together, both of these are males, so you cannot do that. It looks like I've got 3 males and 1 female here, so what you actually have to do is have to take this female one and breed it with one of these other ones until you get another female with both of the stats you're looking for. Like if you want to breed the weight and the oxygen together, you breed it until you get a female with both the weight and the oxygen, and then you can breed that one with one of these 2 over here. And then you want to look for getting all those stats together. It can take a long time to breed all your stats together, but you can do it. If those other 2 I got over on Ragnar or on the Bulgaro are females, it would make things much easier. I could set 3 up at a time and get 3 eggs. So basically what you want to do is when you're breeding these, if you get the stats you want, even if you don't get the exact stats you want, if you get a female, you need to keep it. And you can combine the females with different ones. Say if you breed these 2 together and get a female with just one of the stats, you want to keep that female and breed it back with one of these other ones, because the more eggs you get, the better chance you've got of combining your stats. Okay, now let's show what I've got here. I have bred all these together and combined all the stats into a single Argentavis, and right here it is. It came out a level 295, which is pretty good because the best you can get naturally is a 225 or 224. So this is 71 levels above the best one you can get in the wild without breeding. But when you breed all those stats together, you can pump it up to a 295. And right now, I don't know. This is a pretty good Argentavis. I'm going to claim it's the best one on all of ARK until somebody comes on here and makes comments and shows me they've got a better one. I'm sure there's somebody out there that's got one that's better than 295. But right now, in my opinion, this is the best one, or to my knowledge. And here's the stats it has. It has 3,942.3 health. It has 1,340 stamina. It has 960 oxygen. It has 11,400 food, 752.0 weight, and 540% melee damage. There's also a movement speed and a torpidity. The movement speed, you can't get more than 100 on the flyers, I don't think, and the torpidity, every time you get a improvement on one, it adds to your torpidity. This one right now has 11,184.5 torpidity, but if I was to get a mutation on it, it would go up automatically on the torpidity, so I don't count the torpidity stat. But anyway, it's got some pretty good stats. I will put this in the description if anyone wants to compare theirs with this. If anybody's ever got a stat better than these on any of the things, any of the health, stamina, oxygen, food, weight, or melee damage, I would love to hear about it, as I have really tried to improve on this. I have tamed dozens of them in the last few weeks trying to get better stats, but I haven't been able to. But that is my best Argentavis. And then when you get to your best Argentavis, that is not the end. You can definitely improve on it still yet. You can combine all those into this guy, and then you can imprint on it. And if you imprint on that Argentavis, here's what you get. But I didn't mean to get on him. I meant to look into his inventory. Here's what you can get if you imprint on one. Okay, the health on this one is 4,730.7. That increased from 3,942, so it increased about 8,000 points. Or not 8,000, but 800 points. I don't know what the percentage is on that, but that's a pretty good increase on the health. Went from 3,942.3 to 4,730.7. Okay, then the stamina did not increase any. The oxygen didn't increase any. The food went from 11,400 to 13,680. So the food increased 2,280 points on the food. And the weight went from 752 up to 902.4, so the weight also increased. And the melee damage went from 546 up to 648.2. So that is over 100 extra points on the melee damage. Went from 546 to 648. So you get a big improvement just by imprinting on your creatures. That's not what we're looking for in this series, though. This series, we're basically just looking for the best stats you can get without imprints or without mutations, or without leveling. You can also level your creature up, and I think you can, I don't know how much you can level a creature, but I think it's probably like 70, maybe 80 points. You can eventually level them up by taking them out and riding them and killing creatures and just basically using them. They will level up. Okay, then I'm going to show you what else you can get. You can get mutations, but like I said, this is not about mutations. This is about getting the best basic Argentavis you can get, but you can get mutations. I'm going to show you what happens if you get a mutation. Okay, that 295 right there, if you get a mutation, it will go up. It should go up to a... It should go up 2 points from a 295 to a 297 is what it should do. But this is obviously, I've got it a long time before I got all my stats together. But we got a damage mutation on this one. It is 560 melee damage. I can show you in the show ancestry that's got one mutation on it. And the mutation was melee damage because the melee went from 546% to 560%. So that was a 14% increase, or not a 14% increase, but a 14-point increase in the melee damage. So if you breed enough, you will eventually get mutations. And if you breed a whole lot, you can actually get a double mutation, which is what this one is right here. This one came out at level 299 from a 295. It actually got a double mutation. And it is very rare to get double mutations, I reckon, but I did finally get one. This guy had a stamina and a food mutation. Let's show you what it looks like real quick. The stamina went from 1,340 to 1,380, so it got an extra 40 points on the stamina. And the food went from 1140 to 1160. So it got like 120 points into food also. Those stats, the stamina's pretty good, but the food's pretty worthless. But it also got that little purple duff on its head. It's a color mutation, and it got a different colored tail feathers here. At the end of the feathers are kind of a bluish darkish blue color, I guess, and the original ones were kind of this color right here, kind of a brownish color. So it got a wingtip and a head, little headpiece mutation, that little purple headpiece mutation. But like I said, we're not getting into mutations in this series. We might do a series on mutations at another time. Basically what we're really doing is doing what is your best vanilla basic Argentavis stats. So if you've got stats or seen stats better than the one I've got right here, let's open him up again here if I can. This is the best basic Argentavis I've been able to breed up. If you've got stats better than this one, or any stat better than this one, or got an Argentavis that is leveled up more than this one, please comment in the comment section. And if you've got a video or anything up, I would love to see it. Love to hear from you. If you got comments, place them in the comment section. I plan to do more videos like this. I think I might do a T-Rex one next. Best T-Rex on ARC. So if anybody likes this video and it gets a lot of views, I might actually do a bunch more. I've got pretty good Pteranodons and Eutyrannuses and some Tecparasaurs and stuff. I could do a whole bunch more Who Has the Best Of series if anybody's interested. So anyway, like and subscribe and give me a comment. And thanks for watching. This is Todd Creekrock and the best Argentavis in all of ARC, signing out.